Welcome to Voices Unheard. This is a podcast where we share stories of discrimination from around the world. My guest today is from Siberia in Russia. Welcome, Inga.
Hi, hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I'm your host, Stephanie from South Africa. We will share experiences, describe situations that happen to us, and discuss their meaning. So let's start off light. So, Inga, where do you come from? Tell us where you come from.
So I come from Ulan-Ude, which is the capital city of the Republic of Buryatia in East Siberia, Russia. It's pretty close to Mongolia, like a day's drive. So I lived there until I was 4. After which my family and we moved to China.
Yeah.
We lived there for 2.5 years, and then we moved to Singapore. That was really cool.
Wow, Singapore.
Yeah, and then when I was like 8, we moved to Spain, to Mallorca. Yeah, and that's kind of where I've been at. Well, 2 years in Barcelona also, but I moved back to Mallorca.
Oh, wow. So you've been all over the place.
Yeah.
How was it traveling from all these different countries throughout your life?
Kind of tough, I think, in the begining as a kid, obviously, because, you'd make friends and then you'd never see them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think in the long run, it made me a very, adaptable person. And I think it gave me the skills of, being able to talk to anyone, being able to make friends easily, not grieve over people as much.
Oh,
because,
okay, yes, because it happened so often, so you, had to move on quicker.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly, yeah. So overall, both good and bad,
yeah. So what do you feel is a stereotype that people associate you with?
Growing up, people thought, because I was Asian, they always thought I was Chinese.
Yeah.
Because it's
That's definitely a stereotype. Definitely a stereotype.
Yeah. Because they don't know that there's so many other Asians.
There's so many different, yeah.
So I would tell people I'm from Russia, and they'd be like, no.
They wouldn't believe you. They'd be like,
you're
Chinese.
Lying. You're lying.
They know you better.
Exactly.
What is that? I mean, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Another, maybe stereotypes not as much, but just prejudiced comments.
What prejudiced comments have you heard before? A lot. I'm guessing a lot.
I've been called exotic.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a fruit.
What the hell? Oh my gosh, you're so excited. That's weird. That's wild.
Yeah. Eroticized, I feel
Oh no.
Because, Asians.
Oh my goodness.
Are just so,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, those are the main ones, I think.
For me personally, stereotypes that people have associated me with, being a white South African, specifically Afrikaans, people expect me to kind of fall into the Afrikaans, farmer style, where you listen to only Afrikaans music, you dress in very neutral colored clothing, super short shorts, button-ups, terrible dress sense, in my opinion. It's either that or and I came to IPC, I told them I'm from South Africa. They actually asked me, are you sure? I was like,
what do you mean?
What do you mean, are you sure? Yes. I know where I'm from.
People are so weird sometimes.
I know. It's they're not educated enough about the rest of parts of the world, specifically in Africa.
Yeah.
Then it's I'm from South Africa, and people are like, whoa, okay. I did not expect you to be from South Africa. I was like, I'm sorry, what am I supposed to do about where I'm from?
And then, I don't know, growing up, I'd feel what's the word? As if I owed them an explanation.
Yes, they make you feel like you owe them an explanation as to why are you from this place or that place. This is not your right.
It's not my responsibility.
It's not your responsibility.
I'm Russian, period.
Just accept that. Don't be you don't need an explanation. I don't owe you anything. You just have to accept where I'm from without judging me.
Exactly. Wait, one thing that came to mind. I've been asked if I eat dogs.
Oh my gosh, that's a terrible stereotype. And they just ask you that blatantly?
Yeah.
Just casually in conversation, do you eat dogs?
Yeah, sometimes it's like more serious, sometimes it is more joke, but
that's still like so not the vibe. It's mind-blowing to me that some people think a lot of the comments that they make was just acceptable.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's like super offensive. And you just sit there and you're like, okay, interesting comments.
I used to get much more offended, but at the end of the day, like I stopped caring as much. And I know who I am, and these people, like, if they're not bright enough to, get that there's people from different parts of the world that look differently, then that's
that's their problem. It's not your problem. I mean, it's stupid that they make you feel bad about where you're from and like make you doubt yourself and where you're from and what you know. It's crazy that they invalidate stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like you sit there and you tell them about yourself, and then they're just like, no.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Were you there? No, you weren't. This is my heritage. This is who I am. This is what I've lived with. That type of stuff. And it's like, it's crazy to me that some people think they have the right to make comments and make assumptions
sometimes
and
goes
accusations.
Further than comments.
Yes. What?
It goes. I had a guy come up to me from behind, and he just like pulled my ass, touched my face.
No,
like complete
way.
stranger, complete stranger.
That's insane. That's wild.
Yeah,
that he felt comfortable enough to do that. Like it was acceptable. Like, what is going on?
That's crazy.
No, oh my goodness. Also, I remember now another stereotype that I've gotten, at least. Like, if I had traveled around South Africa, like if I arrived back home at the airport, a lot of the people there that want to scam the tourists, the European tourists, into getting a taxi for very high price. He was like, oh, do you want a taxi? Do you want a taxi? And I was like, leave me alone. I'm from South Africa, you ass. Like, just leave me alone, man. I know your scams. And he looked so offended. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was just funny.
Anyways, so how is society failing to address discrimination where you live?
Oof. Mallorca is an island, which really does not help.
Oh no.
Because I feel like maybe not in all of Spain, but definitely in like smaller communities, people haven't had that many foreigners or foreigners of color. So for them, it's like they don't even know how to act in a way.
Really?
Yeah, and it was a major, like, I've gone through like so many identity crises regarding my nationality and my ethnicity and race and everything. Mallorca is like a small island, and the people, especially older people, or no, not even older, just people in the island, they haven't explored as much.
Yeah.
They have only, always seen the people that they've seen. So for them to have any people of color, it's just really...
It's like a culture shock for them.
Yeah.
And they just...
They don't know how to act. Like, every time I'm walking down my street, like, where I live, like, people are, like, staring me down, like catcalling, honking, like all of that every single time.
Gosh.
Like, and I live there. Like, you should remember me by this point.
That's insane.
Yeah, and just like the little insensitive comments by kids growing up. Kids are really mean. Jesus Christ. Especially in an island, I guess.
What comments have you heard from kids?
Yeah, just like Tina.
Oh
it's like
gosh.
Chinese in Spanish. I've had like pictures drawn of me. I've been called ugly. Yeah, just not very nice things.
Nice things, yeah. Kids can be very, very mean.
What was the question again?
How is society failing to address discrimination where you live?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So nobody did anything?
So they just let it happen like it's a cultural norm.
Yeah. And like the teachers, I mean, it's not like I was speaking up for myself. I would just, take it.
Yeah. Because it's like you against how many kids?
Yeah.
It's like
like an entire, exactly. And I always had the belief that, I can handle it by myself, and I wouldn't tell my parents, I wouldn't tell the teachers. So but it didn't change anything. And I feel like just more awareness. And like I've had like black friends and people would call them the N-word, and
oh my gosh, just
like that's so ridiculous. In an international school as well. Like I don't know.
It's crazy what some people think is acceptable. I mean, discrimination in South Africa now, there was obviously the era of apartheid where blacks and, well, not necessarily blacks, but people of color and the white people were separated by the government, weren't allowed in certain areas. But still to this day, there's like after effects of it. Like a lot of people still feel that they're racially oppressed when they aren't. And if you make any single comment, you get called racist. Or you get told that I'm pushing the apartheid propaganda again, like the agenda again. And just also even in the airport, I mean, like there's these black men that are literally coming to IPC. I literally after saying goodbye to my family and whatnot, I went to security. And there were these two black men, thought I was European or whatever because of how I look and how I dress. And they thought it'd be okay to stalk me and literally like looked me up and down and was like, you are so pretty, and just make me so unbelievably uncomfortable. And the worst part is that stuff happens so often in South Africa. And it's so bad that it's a norm.
Yeah,
it's a norm. I mean,
you kind of expect it at this point.
Yeah, like a friend of my mom's, a man objectified me at a bar, and then this man was like, "You should take it as a compliment," and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" I was like, "No ways," because that's how our society is failing. They're failing us.
Yeah.
Not being able to protect us, just making it a cultural norm, which it should not be at all. And it's crazy to me.
Yeah, I've had the same about like when I was called exotic, and I told one of my friends, I'm no longer friends with her, but she was like, oh my gosh, you just take it as a compliment. Like clearly you're just like sexy or whatnot, but
no, it's not supposed to be
objectifying.
It is. It's like not supposed to be made normal. You aren't supposed to be called exotic. That's crazy statements from people. And the worst part is that society is kind of like failing in that aspect because they're making it more normalized. They're normalizing it more.
Yeah.
Which isn't
just a joke
not
to
right.
many. Yeah.
And it's like, no, you can't joke about this type of stuff. You can't say offensive stuff like that and then just be like, but it's a joke. Don't be so sensitive.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah, for sure.
No. So what is the worst experience that you've had with the discrimination?
I think it's just overall being in primary school in Spain because, because I had lived in Asia my whole life. I knew I was different to the kids, but maybe in like a special way or like in, unique, cool way. When I moved to Spain, I started feeling like I was different, but in a bad way. In like I'm less than. I'm not as worthy as my white peers. I'm just like, the weird, ugly, Chinese girl.
Yeah.
And that has really, are we allowed to swear on this? That really fucked me over, like, shit. And it installed like a really deep belief that I am not worthy or as worthy compared to others. And I mean, I struggle less with it, and now I'm proud of being Asian,
but back then it was really damaging.
I wanted to be white so badly, and what breaks my heart the most is I talked to my mom once about this, and she felt the same way. Like she also wanted to be white, and maybe she still does, I don't know. And that's just so like painful because
it's that people make you feel ashamed of who you are.
Exactly, and it's not like I can change it.
No.
And I'm gonna embrace it because fuck, like I love being
like,
Asian.
You're amazing. Like, come on, girl. Like, you are just gorgeous inside and out. It's like it's so unfair that people make you feel bad about who you are and where you come from.
Yeah,
and just like make you feel not worthy because of how you look or from wherever you come from. It's not right at all.
Up until like maybe like very recently, maybe like last year, I had like a breakdown in the club because I don't know, some guys called me Chinese, and then it just really brought me back into like how, well, I don't know about other Asians, but I feel, well, I did hear actually there is a tendency for, like, for example, okay, I had a friend last term, and he went to IPC, and he's told me how, like, all the Asian people, they kind of stuck together, and they wouldn't really integrate much with the rest of the students. And he told his sister, my friend, about this, and she was like, yeah, I mean, it's probably because, I don't know, they're more from like a collectivist society. Yeah. They're more about like staying together. And he was like, no, it's because they don't feel as though they don't feel like they fit in. They don't feel like they're good enough to be with the white kids. And that broke me so much because like that was so relatable, but also kind of good to hear. Not good to hear, but it was like I'm not alone.
That you're not alone in that situation.
And like it's crazy how other people also feel like this, and it's horrible. But you know, that's why we need this. That's why we need more awareness. And I mean, at least I have the privilege of like the language.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I don't know. Hopefully this term there will be more inclusivity for all. Yeah. And I mean, I'm trying my best at that. Yeah. So yeah, just feeling deep-rooted unworthiness. Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, like inclusivity, I think it is a hard aspect to do if you're like people from all over the world.
Yeah.
Because I mean, here, it's like I love all the people here. Everyone's so nice and like it's a good atmosphere. But also I haven't felt like I fit in anywhere because I don't exactly fit in with my African peers because I can't relate to them in the same way because I am white African. I don't have the same experience as them. But also I'm not European enough to fit in with the Europeans. So I'm just like, where do I fit in? Where do I mesh? What group do I mesh with and fit with? So it's kind of like I'm just in neutral, like kind of just stuck in the middle because I don't know where to go. Because it's like, you know, you just don't know where exactly you fit in because you're like, not enough of this, not enough of that. And then you're just like, what am I supposed to do?
For sure. I think just exposure therapy, like you have to put yourself out there.
No, definitely. I mean, I've mingled and made friends with people from all over, but it's still in a situation then you just think to yourself, you're like, no one else knows exactly what or like has experienced what you've experienced exactly like you have. And then you're just sitting there and you're like, it's lonely. It's like so lonely.
For sure. Yes, I relate to that so much. I don't know, but the only thing that does help is that I do know people are, you know, sensitive and they are willing to listen and they are willing to empathize.
Definitely, which is great. I mean, because coming from South Africa, there's a lot of people that are so set in their way, set in the past, where it's like we have a lot of racist old white people in South Africa, and it's just there's still so much conflict and issues, and a lot of discrimination still. So it's like here where people are a lot more open to changes and differences and different backgrounds and cultures. It's nice to experience.
Yeah, Have you gone like solo traveling to, or just traveling in general to other places and met people?
I've not really traveled much at all. Just kind of around South Africa, but it's all over the place. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just, there's issues all over in South Africa with discrimination, still imbalances and inequalities, and people that blame you for what happened to their ancestors, their grandparents, their great-grandparents, and you sit there and you're like, what did I do to you? Why do you have this hatred for me?
Like Russia and Ukraine war. Yeah.
It's like, it's not, what did I do? I did nothing to you. I apologize deeply for what my grandparents' decisions were and what they did, but it's
you personally had nothing to do with it.
To influence us. I wasn't even born in that time, but then I'm still blamed for it. And then these people are still angry. Like, a lot of people that weren't even born at that time still have hatred towards white people. And I've been taken out, like, someone has literally told me, like, you know, we should pay you back for apartheid. And I was like, not even either one of us were born in that time. But then you sit there and you're like, what did I do? Crazy. Why do you want to pay me back for something that happened that wasn't my fault? It's my grandparents' fault. I'm sorry about it, but I did nothing in this situation. And it's like, it's crazy statements that have been made like that. So there's still a lot of inequalities and discrimination. So yeah.
And what do you do? Do
you just take it? Yeah. I mean, because if I say anything, I get called racist. It's a difficult situation to handle and to just control and get behind, and no one's on the same page. I mean, if you look at our different political parties, it's a stuff up. It's really a lot of drama. So, how would you say? Do you say, okay, how have you grown up from these experiences?
Oh, I feel like a lot. If I had to say so myself, definitely. I became much more confident, and I'm still working on my ability to, not care about what others think.
Yeah,
and I think it's made me stronger for sure, because I have so much compassion for my young self that had to go through all of that. But now, you can't break me down.
Yeah, you're stronger.
With the same words, because I've already been through it.
So you have a lot more
thicker skin.
Yeah, thicker skin, and you're more powerful, and you got the durability to handle the criticism, and the stuff like that.
Yeah, much more. I go about it in more of a chill way, because I don't care as much.
Yeah, so you don't break your brain about it. You don't overanalyze it, and just
no. Because I'm confident in myself and I know who I am.
That's great. That's fabulous. It's really good.
What about you?
Yeah, I think me personally, I've just kind of, just listened to everyone's point of views, and just, if someone says something offensive to me, or guys think certain ways about me because I look like I'm not from South Africa, and it's just like, you know what, that's your opinion, just leave me alone. I've grown up kind of in the aspect of just avoiding and not taking it as personal. Yeah, I don't know how else you kind of grow up about that situation. It's weird. Yeah. So how does living here compare to your country, in this context?
I mean, it's only been 2 months.
Yeah. But so far, would you say it's I guess more inclusive, less discriminative to where you are from?
IPC or Denmark?
I guess a bit of both.
Okay. Okay, well, Denmark, I think it's really chill. I've met so many people on the metro and everything, and everybody was so lovely.
Definitely.
I get lost all the time, and I always press the
and
directions.
they're willing to help. If you ask them, they're willing to help.
Exactly.
It's very, very nice.
Yeah. And I feel like no matter what I look like, they'll help me. Bare minimum, but it's good to.
It's nice that people here are so normal. Like it's normal to be inclusive and not be like judgmental towards people who you're not used to seeing.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's definitely good.
Yeah, I feel like they've definitely been exposed to people that look like from all around the world.
So I feel like they're very welcoming.
Yes, for sure.
Very welcoming.
Sure. Yeah. I really like it. I really like Denmark.
Denmark's a good place.
Yes.
Good place. And then IPC?
IPC, I mean, for sure, very. It's interesting. I've had different experiences with different people. Mostly positive, of course. I feel like people here are even more like fascinated and even more like welcoming, and not welcoming, but like
interested in hearing your sort of like your life.
Yes, exactly. Like they're asking, where I'm from and about my life and everything.
All these questions.
Yeah.
It's like it's warming. It's you feel at home because these people are like actually interested.
Yes, exactly. And
like they care.
It's genuine, and so that was really nice. How else? I mean, in Mallorca, there's not as much diversity, so it's really nice to be like so many, being around so many Asian people and Black people, and like just all over the world, and
so just having a different mixture of people.
Yeah,
a lot more diversity in the group.
Yeah.
It's nice to be around a bunch of different diversities and like cultures and stuff. So it's nice to learn.
Exactly, and it's kind of nice to like not be the only one of like what's the word, like racially ambiguous. Yeah, so it's good.
It's good for you to just, it's like reassuring.
Yeah,
I guess
like we're all different, but it's beautiful. It's fun. It's great. It's I like it. I love it.
Definitely. So, do you think sharing these stories and talking about it, contributes to solving these problems?
I think so. Yeah, for sure. Because like, I don't know, even from where I'm from, there's not that many like social media creators or just, stuff online at all. But when I do find an occasional video that's like from where I'm from or from an area that I'm from, it's like, wow, like it's so beautiful. Like my culture is beautiful.
Yeah.
And like people are like commenting like such lovely things. And it's like, wow, like awareness and more.
Definitely.
Just people becoming more normalizing our cultures.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's definitely a step in the right direction if we talk about it. It makes, normalizes people being able to talk about the stuff they've experienced and the issues they've dealt with, and being able to connect with others about it and work on figuring out a plan how, it can be solved or can be bettered.
Yes. Yeah. And I feel like it will eventually hopefully inspire more people to talk about their experiences and just not feel as alone.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's such a unique experience in that sense, and just to know that
that there's other people that have gone through similar stuff.
Exactly.
And then you're just like, wow, okay, I'm not alone.
Yeah. It's warming.
Yeah, it's definitely warming. And I mean, then you get to connect with more people. And it's just, I think it's a very positive thing to be able to talk about it.
Yeah. Yes.
And to share your story. So, yeah.
Yeah, and especially if you, when you hear people being proud from, of their culture, of, who they are and, where they're from. And it's like, wow, yeah, I have to be white.
Yes.
I can be who I am.
Yes, and you can be proud of who you are.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, I'm very proud of who I am, where I come from, the experiences I've had in life, the people I've met, and just what I've learned and grown up with. I'm happy where I am. And if someone just doesn't like whatever aspect about me, it's your problem.
Exactly.
Because it's like, it's my life. I'm very happy where I am. So, yeah.
Yeah. They can just suck it.
Exactly. So where would you say, what different types of discrimination did you experience in the different types of places you lived?
Oh, that's very interesting. Well, I'll speak about my mom a little bit, because I lived in Russia, but I was only 4, so I haven't faced as much. But in my mom's case, she's half Buryat. Buryat is like the ethnic group of where we're from. So people that are native to that place is like, my mom looks native to that place, but it also has a big population of Slavic people, like from European part of Russia. And she's told me like how like she'd be walking down the street and some kids would just like call out Buryat, Buryat, as if it was like an offensive word, as if it was like a slur.
Oh, was it in Buryat? Oh, was it in like the?
No. It was just the word. It's like as if I called you like South African.
Oh, that's
like, or
that's,
Spanish.
That's
like,
odd.
It was crazy.
That's so strange.
Because like she's actually from there. I don't know. And
it's like, what they're supposed to be. I don't know. It's so strange.
It makes no sense. Yeah, it's just, I think it's like how people just feel superior, and yeah, they want to like the in group and the out group, and how they just want to persist that separation.
Yeah.
And then, for example, when I moved to China, it was really, really difficult because I didn't speak the language at all, and I never understood what was happening. Then class would finish and I was like, okay, where am I going now? I have no idea. We had a cinema in the school, so I just be like, okay, fuck it, and I just would go downstairs and watch movies, and just constant confusion all the time about what was happening. And then bullying came along, and I think it was because I didn't speak Chinese.
So for them, you weren't really Asian enough.
Exactly.
Oh my days! It's like too Asian in Russia, not Asian enough. Like, how does that make sense? Like, where you're again,
little kid,
you're like again, you're in the middle. You don't know where you fit in.
Exactly.
It's not good.
And yeah, it was just really hard to like relate or make friends, or yeah, just super, super difficult. And I would, like, my brother and I, we both struggled, and we were like crying to our parents, like, no, take us back, like, why would you do this to us? And in hindsight, so grateful I lived everywhere and everything, but just those first few years were so difficult. And yeah,
definitely a lot of discrimination going on there, because they still don't make you feel like you fit in.
Exactly. And there were other Asians, like from South Korea and Japan, but I don't know, they like managed to integrate better. I don't know what that's related with, but I really struggled.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, as I said, when I moved to Spain, that was like the biggest like realization, like, shit, I am different. I'm super different, if anything. Didn't feel like just worthless. Didn't feel like I should be here. Didn't feel like I'm a full person.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. we grow and we learn.
Yeah, but that's still, it's not right. It's not fair to you that you felt so insignificant in that time. Like you didn't fit in, you didn't belong.
Yeah.
It's not fair. Specifically, even if you're like a kid, it's like so unfair. Like,
and I was so confused about like, because I am such a mix. Like Burat, I'm only like 25%, and then the rest is like Slavic, Yakut, just different ethnic groups, like Jewish. My great grandfather was Chinese. And yeah, it was just like, how do you
properly fit in somewhere?
How do I didn't even understand where I was from. How was I supposed to explain to other people where I was from?
Yeah.
That was like so crazy to me. So at one point it just became easier to say like, oh yeah, I descend from China, or yeah, I descend from Mongolia, which I never felt Chinese or Mongolian. I always felt Russian, but if
they wouldn't believe you.
Exactly. And if my answer satisfied them, they'd like leave me alone. So for the longest time, like people just thought I was Mongolian or Chinese.
Yeah, but that's crazy that you had to adjust your answers to what would fit their categories. Yeah. You know, what would be acceptable for them.
That's great. Yeah.
It's bad.
Just so much grace for my younger self.
I mean, that's crazy that you had to go all through all these terrible stuff and just not fitting in, you know, just a lot of discrimination, and I'm sorry. But thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Spreading awareness, making more people feel, you know, like they're able to share their experiences and their difficulties, what they struggled through in life. So thank you so much for sharing once again.
Thank you for having me.
These were very personal accounts. Thank you for your openness and your bravery in sharing the stories. And we hope that this podcast has some positive contribution to awareness on this topic, and that other people relate and find ways to improve society little by little. Thanks for listening, and stay positive.
Thank you.